Hi there, I'm Photo Junkie from photoshopbus.co.uk. So in this tutorial, which is a Photoshop tutorial, I want to talk about the optional plugins that you can get from Adobe. So CS5 and CS6 have managed to not include some plugins. So plugins that are no longer supported in Photoshop CS6 whatsoever are listed here. So variation, extract plus, blah blah blah. But you can download some of the plugins which are missing. So you can get 32 and 64-bit ones for Windows and Mac, and they are listed here: alias, electric image, this SG, IRGB, soft image, blah blah, wavefront, lighting effects, and I think you can also download on this page Twain, which is basically, if you don't know, go to Wikipedia, which is here, and it's just a software protocol for linking applications to scanners to make life easier scanning an image into Photoshop. So you can get that all from this page, which I will just bring up a text file, this is the link. I will try to remember to supply this link in the description on YouTube and our website at photoshopbus.co.uk, where you can get all work files, images, etc. So be sure to join there, photoshopbus.co.uk. So anyway, what you want to do, well, let's just talk about the optional downloads. But before we do, I just want to mention one more thing. They have got some Photoshop samples and shortcuts, so you can download some sample files which basically help you learn Photoshop and some of the things you can do with Photoshop. So I imagine that you're downloading PSD files and you'll load it into Photoshop. It will show you an image, and by going through the layers, and it might have notes in there or notations, it will tell you how it was done. I haven't downloaded them, so I don't know. You can, you're welcome to. So anyway, you go to here, so download optional plugins for Macs and download optional plugins for Windows. You click on it, you get this box, you click OK, and then it ends up in your download folder, or wherever you've told your browser to download to. Mine's set to always goes to the download folder, so you should know where your downloads go. So anyway, once it's there, it's a zip file. You unzip it, so it's like I unzip it with WinRAR. I think it's, let's just click on that and see what it says. It's a zip file, so even if you don't have WinRAR, you can just unzip it with Windows, so you don't need to buy any extra software. So anyway, once you've got that, we've now going to open this, and we're now going to open this, and the download folder we can close. Right, so let's first of all, no, we won't open Photoshop yet. What we'll do is we'll transfer them over. So I've got them here. So this is my Photoshop folder, and I've got all my plugins and everything there. Optional plugins for Win64. So it's the same thing for Windows 32. I'm just going to show you the Windows 64 way to do it. So scroll down, you've got plugins. Now you also notice that you've got lighting styles, and I'll tell you why when we load them up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them all. I'm going to hit copy, and then over in program files, Adobe, mine's Adobe 2 because I've got CS5 installed as well, and you want your Adobe Photoshop CS6 64-bit, because these are the 64-bit optional plugins. So that will be in your a program files folder, not your program files x86 folder, which will be for your 32-bit Photoshop. So once in there, you find your Adobe Photoshop, you come down to plugins, click on it, and then right click and paste, and then click continue, and there you've got your optional downloads, plugins, and you've got this thing called lightning styles. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up that lightning styles, and you can see all these. Now remember, some of them you've got 2 o'clock spotlight and blue omni, triple spotlight. Just remember them because it does come into effect. I'm going to actually delete that, and I'll show you why and why it's important to put that in. And you might have also noticed, I'll show you on this side, that it hasn't got the .ple file extension next to it. Well, that doesn't matter. If we go down to presets and we go down to lighting effects here, this is for the new, if you notice in Photoshop CS6, if you do render lighting effects, it opens up a whole new window. Well, these are the different lighting effects that you can have, and if you notice, they are PLE files. So you would have thought these would have the PLE extension, but they don't, and it don't matter, and they actually don't go into this preset. They go into the plugins. So enough talking, let's open up Photoshop. Right, and then let's just open up an image. We'll open up that image, and now if we go to, I'll just do a copy, Control J. If we go to filter, you'll see some new plugins, and if you go to File, Automate, you can see you now got Contact Sheet and some other things. I mean, basically, just look at the plugins you got there, and then you'll be able to work out what you've got now, which you didn't have before. But anyway, let's talk about one in particular, which is render. And now you've got lighting effects. First, we're just going to click on that, which you get in Photoshop CS6 as standard. And as I said, it opens up this whole new window, and you can come over to the presets, and you've got all these presets. Now notice you've got 2 o'clock spotlight, blue omni, triple spotlight, just like we had in not that one, just like we had in this one. So exactly the same lighting effects we've got in this lighting effects from Photoshop. So anyway, we're going to close this. Okay, yeah, whatever. Now if we do filter, render, and then do lighting effects classic, which is one of the optional plugins that we actually downloaded and then copied, pasted into our Photoshop CS6 plugins folder, it opens up the old one, the classic one. The problem is, under the style, we've got nothing. So this is where we have to click OK, and then let's just close it. We don't want to save that. So this is where we need to go back to plugins, go back to plugins there, copy that lighting styles, copy. Now you think it would go in presets, but it doesn't. It goes into plugins, and you just paste. It's going to ask us to say continue, continue. So they're all there now. Don't worry about the file extension not being there, it doesn't matter. Now when we open up Photoshop, so we'll do that like so, and we'll double click and open up that same image. And now let's do filter, render, and let's do lighting effects classic. And now under style, we've got all our different lighting effects from them optional downloads, and it's the same lighting effects that we've got if we was to use the new lighting effects filter in Photoshop CS6. But some of you might want to use the classic one, and you can do that by downloading these optional downloads. Now I haven't gone through them all and worked out which ones weren't there and which ones are there now. That's something you can do. I think contact sheet might be new. If we go to the website, it might tell us. Um, these are basically the ones that we get via the optional downloads. Now they don't really make a lot of sense, like SGI, RGB, soft image, but you will notice a difference. It's a shame that we haven't got the extract filter no more, or the pattern maker, or the photo merge, web photo gallery. I mean, if any of you out there know where we can get these and insert them into CS6, because I think in CS5 we could have some of these. I think you could put the extract back in and the pattern maker back in, but not in CS6. If you haven't got CS6, you've got CS5 and you want the optional plugins, then just Google for optional plugins for Photoshop CS5 and you'll get a similar sort of page. So anyway, that's the tutorial. So I suppose it was a tutorial about the optional downloads for Photoshop, but also how to install them, download them, install them, and remember that with the classic lighting effects, you have to paste that lighting styles folder into the plugins folder of your Photoshop folder. So 64-bit plugins, paste in there along with the optional plugins. For 32-bit, I'd quickly show you. You'd go down program files, Adobe, Adobe Photoshop. Hang on, I'm on Photoshop CS5. I want that. Adobe 2. So Photoshop CS6, and then plugins, and then you'd paste it into there. This is the 32-bit Photoshop, so I'd go to optional plugins over here. I might as well do it now. Plugins. Notice this has got the train involved. The train only works with the 32-bit Photoshop. So, like I said, it's to do with it's like it works like a driver. It communicates between the scanner and Photoshop, but it'll only work in 32-bit Photoshop. So let's just copy all them, and while we're here, just paste them all in there. Continue, and now when we open 32-bit Photoshop, which I won't do now because time's running out, we'll get all these optional plugins. We'll get that classic lighting effects, and we'll get the lighting styles as well, which I think there's 17 of them. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our website, which is photoshopbus.co.uk, for all my tutorials with work files, and also thousands more tutorials and games, chat, art, help, just a great Photoshop or design forum really. So come and check us out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.